the hospital. And I read it. I said, okay, I understand.
Condoms are available everywhere. The advertisement and sensitization to use condoms is abundant. But how much of the information and resources is committed to tackling the inherent shame around purchasing a condom? Even with a plethora of information, resources committed to educating people about sex and taking care of their bodies, many people are still uncomfortable discussing it, even when their health is at risk.
And it's worse for men. You know, females, even though it's difficult, they still come to the hospital. Men will not come unless the thing is now a big trouble under, and they're not like, okay, I cannot continue. Like, it's now maybe like a sore is in one part of the body and it's getting bigger, and you know, all the things their friends told them is not working.
Many times, people are shy or ashamed to walk into a pharmacy to buy condoms or morning after pills, or even make a complaint to a doctor about their sexual health concerns. This shame leads to people engaging in unprotected sex and unhealthy sexual practices. Another factor that keeps many from accessing healthcare is judgment from healthcare workers that may affect their experiences. Prioritizing your sexual health is something to be proud of, and a doctor or pharmacist is there to help you. Many patients won't go to the hospital to complain about their sexual health concerns because they're ashamed. It is the duty of healthcare professionals to make them comfortable enough. However, some healthcare professionals let their personal biases get in the way when discussing sexual health concerns with their patients. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, here are some of the ways you can make your patients comfortable to discuss their sexual health concerns with you as a healthcare worker. Assess your own comfort by discussing sex with various patient groups. Identify any biases that you may have if you're uncomfortable talking about sex and sexuality. Your patient will be too. Avoid making assumptions about your patient.
I actually woke up today on a philosophical mood, thinking about the essence of life. I guess a lot of the happenings in the past week messed up my mind pretty much. So I'm asking, when you are at the place that I am at the moment, especially as a Christian, and you're asking what is life all about, what do you do, John?
I don't know, yeah. Looking at you, you don't look like somebody who's been asking questions. You actually took me off guard right there, Helen. There's so much unlike you. I mean, the deep reflection, you know, that you've talked about is something that's key. But don't we all find ourselves in this place from time to time? I believe it's a good thing. And it means we are alive to the reality of existence. So, my dear, you're in a good place.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's so reassuring, John. Thanks. So if anyone is asking questions about the issues of life, just like I am, then this program is specifically designed for you today. I'm Omaheli Nodele, and I feel so blessed to be of service to you right now.
And I'm Chizoba Mofebo, your host on Culture Conversation segment. Indeed, we have a very good show for you today. All I can say is you are never ever alone in that place of deep reflection, that place of coming to your own space or into your own person. And today, we get to talk with people who have been there and are happy and fulfilled survivors.
Survivors.
I'm John Sanaya. Be sure to stay with us till the show is over today, because our plan is to help you become a better and stronger you.
Exactly. And so we take a breather just about now so we can get you and every member of the family and your friends, wherever you are, comfortable, so that we can do this show together. When we return, we will reveal more of the content, the nitty-gritty of today's outing It's Today with John and Helen live on Plus TV Africa. Please don't go away.
An African girl somewhere is sitting at home, accompanied by dreams that seem so far away. Africa is one of the continents with the highest out-of-school percentage in education, and girls are at an early disadvantage. The sub-Saharan Africa records about 18 million out-of-school girls. This gender gap extends to the tech space with a projection of only a 33% global female workforce representation in tech firms for 2022. Let us help change the stories and numbers. Africa Agility's Project Train a Girl campaign is working to help train African girls in tech. You can donate as little as $2 or 2,000 naira to help a girl in tech get her heels in the door. Visit www.africaagility.rallyup.com/PTAG to donate.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on Plus TV Africa as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the Babin, I pay my rent. On the Babin, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
Now 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
Who has the right of way? Nigerian roads come with a lot of chaos. The chaos is caused by a combination of drivers, motorcycle and tricycle riders, pedestrians and sellers who all claim the right-of-way. The chain of right-of-way holders in Nigeria is hierarchical, and car and motor drivers are at the top of the chain with pedestrians at the bottom. Car or motor drivers believe that they always have the right-of-way regardless, and motorcycle and tricycle riders don't even have any regard for who has the right-of-way. For fear of accidents and their lives, pedestrians have learned to cower. When a collision occurs, the question of who has the right-of-way is on the lip of all concerned as they try to figure out who is guilty. The law doesn't grant anyone the right-of-way, but you yield it to other road users under these circumstances. At a yield sign, to pedestrians in a crosswalk, to persons using a seeing eye guide dog, to persons using a white cane with or without a red tape, at T intersections where you must yield to vehicles on the through road, at uncontrolled intersections where vehicles are already in the intersection, when driving on an unpaved road that intersects with a paved road, when returning to the roadway after a car is parked. Pedestrians must always be yielded the right-of-way at intersections and crosswalks. Treat bicycles as motor vehicles. Yield to bicyclists in all situations where you would yield to a car. For example, wait for an oncoming bicycle to pass before turning left. Turn right at a red light if it's permitted and no vehicles are approaching. If you see a sign that says "No right turn on red," then you must wait for the light to turn green again. Otherwise, you must turn right at a red light after yielding to oncoming traffic. Stop for pedestrians who've begun crossing the road. Once a pedestrian has begun crossing the road, they have the right-of-way. You should also stop for pedestrians waiting to cross at crosswalks that aren't controlled by a traffic light. Yield to oncoming traffic if you're entering a main road.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. From the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
This is Today with John and Helen on Plus TV Africa. Now, have you ever tried putting yourself in the place of a sexually abused person, especially a child?
And has it occurred to you why some people will go to every length to put a smile on the faces of many others, while some other persons are committed to dehumanize, people around them? Today's show will avail you of some fresh insights into this area.
And of course, our first guests, our first two guests actually, young and beautiful. Yeah. And I'm doing some awful things with them on the show today, and we're all doing it for humanity, like they say. They'll join us at the appropriate time, so don't go away.
And don't forget, today with John and Helen, every week we bring you the Keep Fit segment with Dolly Phillips, and also the Culture Conversation, which is over, you saw her earlier. So today on the segment, we are talking about lenses, about activism, and the global perception of the continent on that section. John.
Yeah. It's jam-packed.
Yes.
Yeah? In one word, two words, jam-packed. And we shall take another break now. When we return, our first guest will be seated. Please don't change the channel.
I'm looking forward to that conversation. Stay with us.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Okay, today with John and Helen. Life is the show, and we are on Plus TV Africa. It's compliments of the season, by the way. And to help us understand the many issues surrounding child sexual abuse is a survivor. And the topic is advocacy for boys, especially when the sexual offender is a female.
Yes, and our first guest has recorded a lot, and she has a record of standing up and giving voice to victims and survivors of sexual abuse. Being a child sexual abuse survivor herself. She's a rape recovery specialist, a pioneer, Tonia Lumelu Foundation awardee, recipient of 2020 Nigerian Women Achievers Award for Women Advocacy and more. Please join us to welcome Antonia Ojenagbon, Executive Director, Tonia Bruised But Not Broken Foundation, an SGBU advocate and social entrepreneur. So good to have you, Antonia.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Your hair is something else.
I was going to say that.
Very bold. Very bold. Okay. So are you taking the first shot, John?
Why not? I'd love to.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Antonia, tell us quickly now, how does your personal experience as a child sexual abuse survivor influence your advocacy work?
Okay. When I was growing up, there was no sexual abuse information out there. I'm in my mid-40s, but now we have so much information. If I had information then, probably the abuse would not have gone on for the time length it went, and probably I would have run to an adult, looking for a trusted adult who would save me. Now we tell children stuff like, if an adult makes you uncomfortable, nobody told us an adult would make you uncomfortable. Then I got married without healing. And the psychological effects began to affect my marriage. At the point I was admitted at a mental health home. It was when I came back from the mental health facility, it occurred to me that, you have people like me who have gone through child sexual abuse, they haven't healed, it's affecting their adult life. That's what gave birth to what I'm doing today.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so in your role as the Executive Director of Tonia Bruised But Not Broken Foundation, that's very apt. What specific support and interventions, has your organization over the years been able to provide for people that you find in this situation, survivors of sexual violence?
When I started off, I was just telling my story on social media, making people realize that.
How long ago was that?
In 2016, I started telling my story. So when I came back from the mental health home, I wrote my story. I wanted people to know that there's no big deal being admitted in a mental health facility if you've gone through child sexual abuse and you haven't healed, and I wanted people to know that therapy and counseling is available. And moreover, as a person of faith, I wanted people to know that it is not a sin for you to seek therapy. So what I was just doing there was just advocacy. But now, what we do now is holistic support. Having been in the space for some time, now I understand what survivors go through. Now I understand why survivors don't want to come out. So what we do at Tonya Bruised But Not Broken is providing a holistic support. That holistic support is, apart from providing therapy and counseling, we go a step further, helping the survivor. If it's an adult survivor, you want to report the case to the police, we're not just going to sit down and say, oh, go to the police. We will follow the survivor to the police station every time they have to go and face the police, because we found out that when an advocate follows the survivor to the police station, they're treated in a better, they're treated better than when the survivor goes to the police and they begin to ask questions.
Without all the information.
Yes, you know, so the stigmatization and the shaming of the victim, it's very real. But once you have a survivor standing up, an advocate standing up for that survivor, especially if that person has gone through it, you know what this survivor is going through.
Yeah.
So now, apart from doing interventions, we now provide legal support. So our cases go to court, and every time the case comes up in court, we are present. So we are fully present in the life of the survivor.
So it's like setting up a proper structure to deal with this situation.
Yes.
Now let's even go to the result of what that structure, has given us. Could you share a success story, probably, where your foundation made a significant impact in the life of a survivor?
Okay, the recent one happened last month, and it was a celebrated case. The case of the medical doctor who defiled his wife's niece and was given 2 life imprisonments by Justice Ramon Oshodi. Tonya Bruised But Not Broken played a very vital role in getting justice for the survivor. So that is one of our most celebrated cases right now.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, we introduce you as an SGBV advocate. What is it about?
Sexual and gender-based activists, yes.
So you're not dealing with the younger ones alone?
No, we deal with adults also.
You also deal with adults?
Yes.
All right. So a while ago you talked about, that something is real. The stigmatization, the shame, the challenges are real. Nigeria has seen an increase in awareness, like you said at the beginning about gender-based violence. Now, how does advocacy for boys fit into this broader conversation, specifically advocacy for boys? Because when you talk about child sexual abuse, our mind just goes to
girls.
Okay, the house help that's been, violated by the master or the gatesman or the driver and all of that. But this is taking us to the other side.
Yes. Awareness has made us to realize now that not only girls are being sexually abused, 1 out of every 6 boys that you see has been violated. And the sad truth is they were violated by women. I run a support group for sexual abuse survivors. Sometime in 2018, I decided to do a support group for men. And the men actually came, And at one of the meetings, one of the men said, I promised them that no woman was going to be around. That's why they came. So I said, but I'm the convener. And the guy said, if I do not leave, he's not going to talk. So I had to leave. We had 42 men at that meeting. By the time that meeting ended, out of the 42 men, 40 of them were violated before they got to the age of 5 by their cousins who are women, by their female house helps, by their female clergy,
teachers,
by their teachers. It was really heartbreaking, So now we now understand that we're not going to just talk about girl advocacy. A lot of the girl advocacy is out there. We need to attend to the boys. The way a girl is being violated and we take it off the roof and we run with it, the same thing applies to the boy child. When we say a gender-based advocate, you're not just a female advocate. So we speak for both men and both women and female, yes. So for the boys right now, advocacy is making us to understand that boys too need a lot of attention, not just the girls. We focused all our attention on bringing up the girls and we left the boys. So many men were violated and they can't speak about it because in our society, the culture of shame and stigma that I talked about, if a man comes out to say he was violated when he was a child, people will laugh at him. That is why a lot of them don't talk about it. But the truth is we need to give them the voice. We need to let them know that they can also speak up. And help is also available for the men.
Yeah, and thanks for coming to our rescue. Because quite frankly, the truth is that most boys have their first experience within the home, with house helps, and nobody talks about it. So yeah.
And then as they grow up, they tell you you're man, you're macho.
Yes.
It's okay.
You have all the feelings of a human being. There's nothing like man up. Be human.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now, considering your Wise Woman Award, for life turnaround in 2023, you'll explain a bit of that to us. Now, what strategies do you employ for the holistic recovery and empowerment of survivors?
Okay. So the first thing we do for the survival is we have therapists and counselors that we work with pro bono. We know that therapy is not cheap in this part of the world. So sometimes survivors shy away because they cannot afford to see a therapist. So one of the things we've done is we have some sets of therapists and counselors, professional counselors that we work with who provide their services pro bono. So as the survivor is going through therapy, part of the empowerment we do is, if one of the things Sonia Bruce But Not Broken does is to pay the school fees, especially for children who were born out of rape, because we have children like that who were born out of that. So we pay for their school fees if they want to learn a trade. Yes, but very soon our empowerment center will soon be ready.
Wow. So if a child is born out of rape, for example, and the child is 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, thereabouts, no parent is responsible for the upbringing of that child, by the way.
Most of the times the children are with the women. Okay. So we have volunteer men who come up to say, this child can take up my name. Yes, we have men who stand up against rape. We work with one of them. So they come up to say, I want this child to take up my surname. Yes, so they play the father figure in the life of that child. Yes. So, yes.
Okay, we are talking about this. Awareness is being created. Social media is all over the place. There are more people like you now bringing this thing to the fore. In the townships, I want to believe. What happens to that boy, that girl, in the remote village, who probably does not have a smartphone to be able to reach out to the things that that people like you are available? How can communities better support male survivors? How do we get, into the interiors? Because I believe that this is even entrenched more.
We have agencies that are working now with community leaders to train them on how to handle cases of XGBV. Yes, so I will use Lagos State as an example. Lagos is the cosmopolitan state, but we still have the trenches in Lagos. So we have an agency in Lagos State responsible for sexual and gender-based violence. One of the things they do is go into the villages, train community leaders so that they will know. First of all, let them know that this thing is a crime. It's not a family issue. It's not something you beg and wish and it just goes away. It is a crime against the state. Under the Lagos State criminal law, it is an offense. Defilement carries a penalty of life imprisonment. Defilement of a minor. Yes. Rape also is life imprisonment, So we as Sonia Bruce But Not Broken, we also go to the villages. I've gone to several villages. Sometimes I would, if it's a Western state, I would have to speak the local dialect. Yes. I've gone to the East. There I would be able to speak Pidgin. I get an interpreter who helps me interpret. Yes.
Yes. Great. I wouldn't ask you to give us your CV because already it's intimidating. For instance, you're a pioneer again of the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, AWE, right? Could you just tell us how does that entrepreneurship, tie into your advocacy work?
Okay. Before I became an advocate, I was actually an entrepreneur. Okay. I still am. Okay. I actually gave you a reason why I came with this morning. Yes. So I am still so I'm building up capacity. One of the reasons why I do all of this is for the girl who has been abused, especially when she was a child and she thought that all hope is lost. You can live a normal life again. Because the abuse happened, it is not the end of the world, and it doesn't mean that you cannot attain all you dreamt of attaining. It's one of the reasons why I do what I do, yes.
Okay.
All right, what you do is something that we must bring to the fore as often as possible, again and again and again. And the fact that, you know, the law frowns against it, the fact that people who are found culpable also are punished. Life imprisonment is big deal, and the other thing that you talked about. So we must find that platform to constantly bring this to the faces of people, you know, perpetrators and out there. Finally, because we're running out of time, what policy changes or legal reforms do you believe are crucial to addressing gender-based violence more effectively in this country?
The truth is we have the laws. We have the laws. Implementation is what we are fighting for. The laws are there. Like I said, under the Lagos State Criminal Law, the penalty for defilements...
Is it national? That's only Lagos State.
Yes. Under the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, the penalty is also life imprisonment, minimum of 21 years. And we have 32 states right now who have domesticated it. But Lagos State practices the Lagos State Criminal Law. Its own penalty is life imprisonment for defilement of the minor. So we have the laws. Now, like I was telling you about the conviction we got in October, it's an eye-opener. People are beginning to realize that, oh, really? You mean it's not just taking advantage of a small girl, a vulnerable child? The law is there. Now, that child is a vulnerable girl. Her mom is the widow. But you see, the Lagos State government stood, the Ministry of Justice, through the Director of Public Prosecution, provided legal representation for that child that she would never have been able to afford a lawyer. Yes, you know, so all we needed to do was give her the support, and we said to her, we will stand with you till the end of this case. And every day the case came up in court, the Lagos State Director of Public Prosecution was in court.
Wow.
Yes.
Very commendable.
Yes. That is also very, very, apart from being commendable, it gives a moral boost to survivors. I know how my DM was buzzing and the calls that day. I think my phone crashed that day because a lot of survivors.
Yeah.
When I gave a statement, I said, "This is for every girl every survivor that has been violated, and you thought you would never get justice. This particular justice is for every one of us."
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Wow.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. We will find time to have you back on the show in the new year, and please make yourself available because what you're doing is beautiful.
We'll try to avoid Christmas time.
Well, nothing more to say, but like I said, thank you for being the light in the darkness of these children, both male and female, and for what you do to ensure especially that offenders are exposed, not only exposed, that they are brought to book.
Amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Amazing stuff, I must say. Thanks so much for taking us through that unusual terrain. Usually we focus on girls, like we said, being abused by men, but this, wow, we must commend you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so there it is, the advocacy for boys, especially those sexually abused by the females. We shall take another break right now to return with more good news on the show. And Omo Henry Egbo, you know, the president of 100% Life International, is already in the studio, and she is our next guest. Please join us again.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
Na 500 naira they collect am.
If you no talk, dem go beat you.
Na 2,500 I dey pay.
businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on Plus TV Africa.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshukeye. Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Events is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely. Like, no question. He's a living legend.
Oh, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, I know.
I just want to be blown away. I want to be wild. This is 11 years of doing it.
I'm surrounded by so much positivity.
No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching
Plus Event
on Plus TV.
Stay glued to Plus TV Africa every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
So thanks for staying with us. This is Today with John and Helen on Plus TV Africa. Now let's get straight to it. Our next guest is an embodiment of a holistic commitment to family and community values.
Precisely the reason we invited her to this show today. She's a wife and a mother and a passionate faith ambassador, author and multifaceted professional. She's joining us to look at spreading Dainty December with the less privileged is Omo Henry Egbo. And she's president 100% Life International. Yeah? Good to have you.
Good to be here.
And you are so young and you've done so much. Going through your CV, the things you have done.
Well, let's say I started out early. Okay, and I think life is for the living. So I don't think we should waste any day. I try to maximize every season of life, and I think we should all do that.
Great. That's what we should be hearing at this time of the year.
Yeah,
and Helen, she's Omo.
Omo. Okay. Omo. Thank
So
you,
Omo, we have loads and loads of questions for you. And should I shoot first?
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, as the
You're
foundation,
the only man here, so
as the founder, right, of 100% Life. 100% Life International. Yeah. Now, how do you integrate that mission, of empowering individuals into initiatives that are aimed at spreading joy during the festive season?
Okay, I think when it comes to spreading joy in the festive season, some people think it's just about doing stuff for people, but I think what we need to spread the most is hope. Because for people who have had a very trying year, this is when we all remember it. Yeah. There are people who haven't had something good happen to them this year. There are people who have lost loved ones. There are people who have lost hope. There are people who, their plans for the year, nothing has happened. So this is a time where lots of people begin to feel hopeless. So if there's any time where we need to be the hand of love, it is now. And when we think about it, a lot of people think it's all about money. Money is important. But I think you need to let people know they are not alone.
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing at 100% Life International. Telling people you don't have to do life alone. So we go out of our way to make sure, our plan this year is to make sure as much people around us do not have empty pots this Christmas.
Wow.
That's what we're doing. And I think the major aim is to get everyone doing the same. You know, I don't have to tell you times are challenging. I think we all know that, right? So if there's any time you need to be a brother's keeper, it's now, because you don't know what people are going through.
Okay. So spreading hope. We'll get to the practical of spreading hope. So spreading Dirty December with the less privileged. By the way, this Dirty December thing is a Gen Z, you know, catch. What is it about? And what's unique about this theme? How did the idea come to you in the first place?
I think it's about, December really is the time to jollof. Because lots of us have been working so hard during the year. And when it's December, people are like, I'm dropping the ball, I'm having a good time, you know? No matter what it's going to take, I'm just going to ball. And that's what the Dirty December is about. It's really about balling. Everybody wants to ball.
It's a D-E-T-T-Y.
Yeah, it's a D-E-T-T-Y. So it's more like balling December, you know? It's time to let your head down and have
I'll explain all of that to Helen later.
Okay.
Positive impact on the less privileged. Do you have any?
Yes, I do. Actually, what we do at 100% Life International, which is Hand of Love, the aspect of 100% Life International we're talking about, is that every December, we, as much as possible, make sure no pot around us is empty. So we usually have events where we give food to the less privileged. It's something we have done over the years. We haven't just started it this year. We're doing it this year. We're on the 20th of December. We're having a distribution event. But we've always been doing it. And what we do is that we, as an organization, 100% Life International, we get people to partner with us also, and we make sure, we go to the place where you have people who have the most needs, right? And then I remember the last one we had, it was so painful that after we had fed about 300 families, and they left and they went to tell their other people. And before we knew what was happening, the place was surrounded.
Wow. You had nothing left to do.
Everything was finished. So it really became an issue. And I was inside, I had tears in my heart. I wish I could do for everyone. And you had to see old people, young people. This is why I'm saying it's not just 100% life thing. Everyone should do what you can do. Yes, I know things are tough.
Yeah.
We know things are tough, but you see, the minimum wage is 30,000 naira, right? So imagine somebody wants to buy a drink for 1.5 million naira. Lots of people are doing that this December. Instead of buying that drink, if you take away 500,000 naira from that, do you know the amount of families that's going to put food on the table?
Yes.
I think this is the way we should be thinking.
But do you get like corporate support?
So far, we haven't gotten corporate support. It's been individual support, relationship.
Okay, from individuals.
Our track record of success. But we're open to corporate support. Anyone that wants to join us, we are grateful. And we're actually very open. It's a fertile ground. We're ready to give you all the information, tell you how every penny is spent. Because we're talking about human lives.
Okay, so you talked, you're specific on the less privileged.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when Nigeria says we're sharing XYZ to families or
we're sharing palliatives.
Palliatives to families who are in need. And I'm like, how do they identify the family who are in need in an environment here where statistics...
Go to a woman. In fact, we went to a particular shanty, there were about 500 people living in the building. So we couldn't go in.
In the building?
Yeah.
Wow.
With clothes as windows. We couldn't go in because they would mob us. So I had to send some of my aides, go in there. And it's so heartbreaking because everybody needs this. And we didn't have enough for everybody. So I'm like, okay, the first 200 people we give, just give them a run out.
Wow.
Do you get what I'm saying? So this is really serious business. So we went to people, this is not one palliative that you keep somewhere and the cousins or brothers of big men will be having. No, we went to those who needed it the most. And they came in their numbers. And they brought in their friends. So it wasn't enough. It really wasn't enough. So when we say partner with us to get this job done, we give it to those who need it the most.
Really
Mothers who have children and they can't feed them. You see the children. Why children coming without their parents? And we had to, okay, fine, let's keep the children in a safe place first, right? And then we can give them this food. So this is serious business.
Wow. And this is food like for December or Easter. Now, what happens to the other days in the year? I mean, we are in... So,
yeah. Wow, that's a huge question because, I mean, You have to feed every day.
And it's just food, one meal.
Yeah.
You can't give 3 meals anyway to one person.
You have to, and these are some of the things we are working on as an organization, right? To say, okay, why we feed during the festive season? First of all, the importance of feeding during the festive season, like I said earlier, is not just about the food in the stomach, it's about hope. To know that you are not forgotten. Because sometimes just that food you are giving, you go like, okay, I'm not forgotten. That helps your mind open up. That helps you to think and become creative. However, as an organization, we're actually moving forward towards vocational skills and partnering with financial institutions. So we'll get to, have equip people with vocational skills and also give them startup funds. That's some of our plans for 2024.
Great. Okay, now we've kind of like concentrated on the 100% life initiative. I'm sure that, you're attempting to go out further, wider. In what ways? Your Invasion Africa, that's where I'm going. So in what ways does Invasion Africa, contribute to the holistic empowerment of individuals and communities?
That's one of my precious babies.
Wow.
So Invasion Africa has one aim, which is to inspire and pump hope into the hearts of young Africans, so young Africans can fly and be the best versions of ourselves. While the stomach is important, right? But foiling the heart can change a generation. An inspired mind cannot be stopped.
Wow.
When your heart is inspired, you will stand the test of time.
I'm going to write that down. An inspired mind
cannot be stopped.
Cannot be stopped.
When the heart is inspired, the way you see challenges is different from other people. You just see it as, what can I do about this? No, I'm finished. An inspired mind looks at the situation and thinks creatively. And that's what Invasion Africa is doing. You asked the question, Madam Helen, that how come I'm able to do what I do at my age? And that's because my mind got inspired at a young age. So I know what it is for a young heart to be inspired. An inspired mind, most of the time, would not waste their youth.
Wow.
And that's what Invasion Africa is about. We are determined to set the hearts of young Africans on fire so young Africans maximize the young age. Because you see, no matter what we say, there's some things that are better done at a young age.
True.
You can be hungry doing your work at a young age, but when you're 60, when you're hungry, you feel differently. You
Tell me about it.
So this is the reason why Invasion Africa is determined to set the hearts of young Africans on fire with inspiration. And we are actually on that mission. We had an event last year, and it was so powerful, where we had young people at Oregon High School was the location, and we had young people, young hearts being inspired. Till date, I still get messages, young people telling me, thank you so much. So many interesting things happen, but one particular incident happened. We had one of our guests was a drug addict. He was hooked on drugs during his 20s, and he came and he shared with these young people. He said, listen, I lost my 20s to drugs.
Wow.
I know they are hyping for you people that, drugs is fun, drugs makes you hot, you're a guy man by taking drugs. Say, listen, there's no guy man in it. I lost my 20s to drugs. And he shared how there were 3 that started out in taking drugs. And at the time he was talking, he was the only one alive. So I'm just telling you what Invasion Africa plans to do. I plan to take this to the nations of Africa.
Okay, all right. And we are solidly behind you.
Thank you.
Praying with you and doing all that we can do so that, the younger ones begin to see life, from a different perspective. As a faith ambassador, how does spirituality, final question, play a role in the mission of your non-profit organization?
I believe that there's a deposit of God in the inside of everybody. I believe that God distributed his abilities as God in every one of us. You see, that person who's an exceptional artist is the deposit God has put in him. And that deposit is in every single person. And we have a mission to bring out that deposit in every person, especially the young person. Because when that happens, you see, you have less problems in society. Because more people arise, and when more people arise, they can lift up others. And then the nation and society becomes better.
I see so much life oozing out of you. And I'm so pleasantly happy and grateful that we had you on this show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. There's so much work to do. That's what it is.
And we're ready
There's so much work. All the best.
Omo, can I join this crusade?
Oh, please, you can.
Okay.
Please, you can.
So honestly, it's something that all of us have to at least have a little hand in, even if we're not able to, every little, effort.
We should.
It matters. So really, I want to thank you for this. I mean, you've really inspired us so much, and I'm sure our viewers as well.
Yeah. And what I'm taking away from here today, besides a lot of other things, is that I can also identify, areas or catchment areas or communities around me or persons, households who need your help, and spread the news, that there's somebody like this they can reach out to. And everybody, has that assignment to do.
Absolutely.
So we can reach more people who truly, truly need our help. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Well, it was Mother Teresa, I believe, who said that we should give until it hurts, So may the Lord continue to bless you for all that you do for the less privileged amongst us. Thank you again. All right, from here we move straight to the gym. Dolly Phillips is eager to take us through if we have time. If we do not have the time, then when we come back from this very short break, Chizoba will be here with our next guest.
And and quickly after that, we'll make way for Chizoba, like you said, as a guest. A young man who is doing he's doing amazing things, with the lenses. Yeah. Off we go to the gym first with Dolly.
If we have time. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
And welcome to the fitness section of today's show. I'm Dolly Phillips at Alpha Fitness Studios in Lekki Phase 1. Now, today, as you can see, I'm on the floor. And you need a dining room chair as well. So grab one real quick and let's get to our workout. What are we doing? Legs under the chair. Let's start with our warm-up. Deep breath in and out. And in and out. Two more, in and out. Last one, in and out. Let's reach up and over. One, up and over. Two, good. Up and over. Three, last one, up and over. Four, stretch the side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's start. So, first workout, you're going to lie down. I'm lying down here. I'm going to bring my foot up and down, alternating. And your time starts now. Let's go. And up. That's one. Change legs. Up and one. Now we're focusing on those lower abs. Yes, that really hard to reach part of the stomach that just doesn't want to budge. That's what we're working on today. That's the major focus for today's workout. 2 more. 1 more. And relax. Now, legs outside the chair. We're going to clap above. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And up. Now, if you need to keep your knees bent, that's absolutely fine. Your focus should be to keep your lower back in the ground. So tilt your pelvis forward and keep that back on the floor. Ooh, you can feel the burn with this one. 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. Back to the first one. Both legs underneath that chair. We're sending it above the chair now. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And up. Good. Alternate. And up. Now pull that knee into the chest. Yeah, so you really get those quads working as well. Keep going. This is fun. I like this one. We're lying down after all. 4 more seconds. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, and time. in and out on the side. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And out. And out. Pull those knees to the chest. That is super important. Come on. And out. And in. And out. And in. That's it. Keep going. No time. Go. That's it. 3, 2, 1. One leg above, one leg below. We're working. In 3, 2, 1. Let's swap over. This is hardcore. In. Don't kick that chair over. Come on. Make it work. That's it. Let's go. Ay, ay, ay. You can feel this one. If you want to intensify that workout, look at your legs and what they're doing. Yes. And rest it. Okay, from here, I'm going to send my legs over and back down to the floor. Ready? Let's go. No need to straighten your legs. Keep it bent and down. Good. And over. And down. And over. And down. Teasing that stool as though you're going to drop your legs, but you're not. And down. Take it over. Awesome. Quickly, one more. And time. Now we're doing the opposite. We're sending it down now. You ready? In 3, 2, 1. Both legs through. In and to the chest. That's it. In and to the chest. Ooh, this one. Really hitting those lower abs right there. Come on. In and to the chest. Don't stop. Try your best. If you want to make it harder, look at your legs. Don't let your feet touch the floor. One more. And time. Knees to the chest. And relax. Last one. Let's go. Over. We're only going to do 5 of these here. 2. Come on, one more. 3. 2 more, I lied. 4. Last one now. And 5. Hold it there and stretch. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull one leg out. Yes, keep one down there. And reach to the side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Repeat the same on the other side. Let's go. 3, come on. 2, and 1. And relax. Side stretch. Other side. Deep breath in and out. Last one, in and out. Wow, that was awesome. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Nigeria is a beautiful country filled with cultural resources and a preserved tradition. It is famously known as the Giant of Africa, whose cultural heritage is woven from the natural beauty in her land, threads of history, and the hospitality of her people. From rainforests in the south to savanna woodlands in the center and a semi-desert region in the north, Nigeria is adorned with long stretches of exotic beaches, lush mountains, magnificent waterfalls, and a unique wildlife, boasting of enchanting tourist attractions ready to be enjoyed. Here are some tourist destinations you should add to your bucket list. Coconut Beach. Coconut Beach is located in the coastal town of Badagry, west of Lagos State, Nigeria. No place tells the story of tourism fused with history like Badagry, which is situated about 20 miles close to the border of the Benin Republic. Coconut Beach has breathtaking and beautiful ocean views, a perfect place for relaxation, with the beach being set away from the noise of suburbia. It is surrounded by thousands of coconut trees, where it got its name from, beautiful holiday resorts, vacation huts, fresh air, and an open sky, portraying an ideal rural destination for lovers of fun and holiday makers. The Obudu Mountain Resorts. Above the sea level, on the Oshia ridge of the famous Sankwala Mountain, sits majestically the Obudu Mountain Resort. It is located in the highlands and deep tropical forests of Cross River State, with a temperate climate and just 45 miles from the border of Cameroon. The ranch boasts of numerous pleasant mountain area and countryside views, with tourist attractions like the water park, cable car, ranch cattle and horses, waterfall, and the ancient Anapi village. The Obudu Mountain Resort is a mix of adventure, beautiful scenery, and idyllic tranquility. The Yankari Game Reserve. In Bauchi State is the Yankari Game Reserve and former National Park, one of West Africa's eco-destinations. It is home to several natural warm water springs and the biggest wildlife retreat. The reserve is filled with a number of activities that would help you connect with nature. Marvel at the largest herd of elephants in the country, embark on a guided safari tour, and explore the tropical forest. You'll also find beautifully constructed huts alongside some uncaged animals such as monkeys and baboons living in their natural habitat. The Yankari Game Reserve is an area of great natural beauty that provides recreational pleasure. The Ogbunike Caves. Located in a valley blanketed by tropical rainforest in Anambra State, are a collection of caves knitted with historical and spiritual significance. The Ogbunike Caves are associated with living traditions said to be preserved by the people for many centuries. The caves are beautifully surrounded by streams of water.
Welcome to another culture-rich episode of Culture Conversations. My name is Chizobam Ofebo. Today, culture ambassadors, as I like to call them, are largely to thank for the new lease of life that Nigeria and Africa as a whole is enjoying, or are enjoying. And the young men and women behind the lens and camera are part of this incredible group of culture ambassadors who are using their talents and patriotism to re-image the true picture of Nigeria and Africa. With us in the studio today is one of Nigeria's beloved culture ambassadors, Niyi Fagbemi. He is, and filmmaker as well. He is globally known for his viral docufilms, like his beautiful depiction of the Ojude Oba Festival that takes place in Ogun State. Niyi Fagbemi is a Nigerian-based travel and documentary filmmaker who is dedicated to presenting the African and Nigerian narrative in a distinctive fashion. With over 100 million views across various platforms, he has collaborated with notable brands and personalities like UNDP, Nat Geo, UBA, NBS, Rocky Mountain Institute, Red Bull, and more. Niyi excels as a DOP, drone pilot, and video editor for specialization in travel, lifestyle, and documentary filmmaking, with his main aim being for the world to rediscover Africa and Nigeria through his lens. Without further ado, let's welcome Niyi. Niyi, thank you so much for being with us on the show. I am super excited to have you, super excited. But let's just jump into the questions. What triggered your foray into this line of travel filmmaking? Was it happenstance? Was it always the plan?
Okay, so to be honest, it was never the plan, right? So I actually studied mechanical engineering in school. Okay, so I did it for 5 years, then I actually ended up being a project engineer here in Lagos with an IOC for about 2 years. But when the oil prices came crashing down, I had interest in photography, but I never really took it serious because I wanted to become a project engineer. So because of like the huge blow and circumstances to have it, so I actually decided to actually take photography serious. Okay. And before that, I never really knew how to make money from photography. So I had to pick myself up and actually do what was right and actually learn how to make money. And actually started out taking pictures, documentary pictures, and just anywhere that my camera could face, just take any pictures. So, I mean, I did that for like a year or two. Then I interned under a very good mentor of mine, Demola Olaniran in Abuja. Okay. Yes, so I mean, it was a very, very helpful experience for me. Then moving forward to around, let's say, a year into like the photography space, I ended up being able to afford a drone. So I got a drone. Then I started with like aerial photography. Okay. Then because of like the current trend and also the social media trend as well. I mean, everybody loved videos. So I decided to actually learn. And once I learned it, I actually just said, okay, it's not as hard as I actually thought it was going to be. So then also growing up, I also had like a vision for Nigeria. And I always used to think that whenever I think of all these states, take for instance Katsina now. Yes. There's really no mental picture that you can have about the state. True. So maybe you can just think of like the word Katsina, but you can't really have like a picture about it. So I mean, growing up, it was just like a very, very good passion of mine to actually see a lot of these narratives being changed. And I also believe that we as Africans and we as Nigerians need to tell our own story because, I mean, to be honest, like in the past, it hasn't really been told in the best way. And I mean, based on what's flying on the news, anyway that I tell, oh, I'm going to Nigeria, I'm going somewhere in Nigeria, they'll be like, oh, be safe and stuff like that. So, I mean, based on like my personal preference and also my personal vision for Nigeria and also my love for my country, Nigeria, I mean, it's been really good, and I really want to see Nigeria change.
Thank you so much for becoming a culture ambassador. I've said this several times, I won't tire to say it. And so regardless of the passion you have for something, there's always going to be the highlights and there's always going to be the low tides. Yeah. So can you just give us a bit of what the highlights have been and the low tides? Okay,
I think I'll actually start with the low tides, right? So funny enough, I actually sponsor myself to almost everything you see on my page. So around 95% of what I do, I actually sponsor myself, which is also limiting to some extent. So I can't really be consistent as I want to be in terms of posting, in terms of traveling, because it also requires funding. And I also have to find a way to actually to balance being able to balance clients' work, making money from clients' work, and now using the money that I have made to actually push like the narrative of Nigeria out there. So I mean, all in all, that's one of the low tides. But in terms of the high tides, I mean, it's also like seeing the reactions from people. And also maybe one thing that really touches me on a personal level is that people actually message me and they call me sometimes and say, oh, I really love what you're doing. I mean, I really never envisioned Nigeria or somewhere in Nigeria to be like this. So it's really been awesome. And I think it's just because I really want to change, even if I can't really change the whole world, obviously, at least just change one person's world. And that's
Thank really you so much. Wow, so you're self-financing.
Yes.
That's very limiting, man. See the magic you've been able to create. Government and private institutions, are you hearing? Is there so now there are a lot of young people out there and they want to be the next Nii Fagbemi, and we're grateful for the path that you've created. But not everybody is going to come into your particular space. I know that one of the hardest things to do in business is to find out a niche and carve it out for yourself. You've done yours. So for the young people out there, you've been in the industry for a bit, so you've seen some loopholes that they can come and carve out of their niche. So what are some of those loopholes for them to come, into?
I mean, thank you so much for that question. I think maybe I'll start out with how I actually discovered my own niche, right? So I didn't really see it from anywhere or hear it from anywhere. I mean, it's just over time you get to actually try it out. Like I mentioned, I started out as a photographer. Then, I mean, years down the line, I actually just ended up in filmmaking. So whatever you find yourself doing at this particular time, right, just do with all you have. So there's a quote that says, all you can do is all you can do, but all you can do is enough. So at every point in time, just do all you can do. And after some time, I'm telling you, actually figure out what you want. I mean, you can start out with one thing, and there's also 3D mapping and also visual effect mapping as well, which is really, really good. And there's a lot of potential in that space. So, I mean, there's a lot of potential in the travel space, in the filmmaking space, and also in the creative industry as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Nii. So you talked about being able to finally afford a drone, and I know that that's big money.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of young people are like, okay, you've told us that we can come in and we can start where we are, but we need certain equipment. And with the economy, the way the economy is there a cheaper do-it-yourself way of being a Nii?
Okay. I mean, yes, definitely there is, right? So I used to tell a lot of people, I mean, funny enough, nowadays it's easier to go viral on your phone than it is to go viral with camera equipment. The reason being is, number one, the ease of use, the usability, and also the turnaround time. So when you take a video with your phone, you can easily edit it on your phone and post. But when you take a video with a camera, I mean, let me walk through my process. So if I take for instance, the Ojude Oba now.
Mhm.
So after shooting for like 6 hours in one whole day, I mean, we woke up early in the morning, we shot. Then after the event, I still had to travel back to Abuja. After traveling back to Abuja, I have to copy from my cards into my system. After copying from the cards into the system, I have to look through those 6 hours of footages and actually select which ones that I actually want. Okay, after selecting which ones I want, I mean, you now have to build the timeline and blend it with the song. Yeah, so it's, I mean, it's a very long.
So let's say 2 weeks, 1 month before the whole footage comes out.
I mean, yes, but the Ojude Oba one was special because I mean, I really loved it and I just wanted to get it out.
So how long did that take?
So I think that took around 1 week.
One week?
1 or 2 weeks, right?
Oh,
for like
I
two
really
different
loved
videos.
it for you to have been that quick.
Yeah.
So I have a vision for Nigeria that in 2033 we're going to be a world power. And that's why I'm grateful for young ambassadors like you. Kole Shorin said something, said no nation has been saved by its politicians. And so it's people like you, the creative economy that we have today that is saving Nigeria. How would you say your field right now is going to help us get to that world power status?
Okay, so I think one of the best ways, right, to actually sell a product is if you sell it yourself. So we as Nigerians, we need to sell Nigerians by ourselves. So it's really not what anybody says about Nigeria, it's only what we say about Nigeria.
Yes.
So we as Nigerians need to tell our own stories and
Very
paint
true.
the best picture for ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of bad things that happen in Nigeria, to be honest, and there's a lot of bad things that also happen in the world and in
Yeah.
Western countries.
Yeah.
But what you hear about the Western countries is most of the
Good
things,
things,
right? So it's
how they're
because-
saving the world.
Exactly. And that's because they are painting
Controlling
their
their
own picture.
narrative,
Exactly.
yes.
So we as Nigerians, we need to control our own narrative as well.
And you're doing that with the docu-films that you're
yes,
doing.
Exactly.
How can government and private organizations help you?
Okay, so in terms of the government organizations, right? So maybe not help me personally,
people
but
in
help the
your industry.
filmmaking space and the. I think number one is building the right infrastructure. So when I mean, I'll give an instance like Obudu now. I've been there twice, and unfortunately, I haven't even stayed in the mountain villas, which are like the really, really nice chalets. But I haven't really stayed there just because they were not functioning. I mean, the first time they were on strike. The second time it wasn't just functioning and everywhere was cold. So it's really hard to be able to go to all these places when there's no infrastructure, the accessibility as well. So the same time it's going to take you for a direct flight from Nigeria to London. It's the same time it will take you from anywhere, any central area or any main area in Nigeria to Obudu.
Wow.
It's going to take you around 8 hours from Abuja to Obudu. It's going to take you around 6 hours from Calabar, which is in the same state. Yeah, from to Obudu, and it's going to take around 7 hours from Enugu to Obudu as well. So in terms of accessibility, there has to be proper infrastructure in terms of the roads, and I mean there are different aspects
Yeah,
as well which
because
can be picked up on.
Yeah, because you're dealing with tourism, so I mean accessibility, road networks, everything, and accommodation, everything ties in.
So I think maybe one other thing I can mention
Yeah.
is that there needs to also be government and private sector partnerships, right? So I think what I've seen based on all my travels is that Nigeria has a very, very poor maintenance culture, sadly. So I mean, over time you see a lot of projects that have been built, but at the end of the day they are not maintained because there's a change in power and also change in the people that actually built those places and had the passion for it. So my own advice to any government and parastatal that is actually watching this is that if you can, right, I think there needs to actually be like, even if it's not a direct Ministry of Maintenance, right, but there actually needs to be some form of maintenance structure for Nigeria so I can actually measure your KPIs and measure where needs to be maintained.
Nice. The last question, and mentorship opportunities.
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of space for mentorship opportunities, but unfortunately for 2024, it's already booked out.
Wow, that's how great you are. 2024 is booked already.
Yeah.
I'm busy. I'm profitable. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nee. Thank you for what you're doing, and I pray that government and the private, organizations, heed to your advice, and you get everything that you need to get by World Resources. It has been a fantastic interview with Nee. I'd like to quote something he said. He said, "All you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is the best you can do, and is more than enough." Okay, so start where you are with your phones. Start where you are with your passion. Around you is tourism. Nigeria is that beautiful that wherever you are is a beautiful space to take a picture of or a film of, to tell our story in a better way. We'll go for a short break now. When we return, we'll join John and Henley to wrap up the show. Stay tuned.
we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408 or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshuke. Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Event is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely. Right, no question. He's a living legend.
Oh, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, I know.
I just want to be blown away.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry.
You're watching Plus Event on Plus TV.
Stay glued to Plus TV Africa every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
Seize it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
For me, I wanted to change that culture. I didn't believe that until you see a white man or you see a foreigner in the kitchen before you can believe that, you know, good food is going to come out of that kitchen.
You can leverage on each other's spaces and, you know, sell. We believe in Nigeria, right? We believe that Nigeria can get better. We, the youth, are the ones that can make it better.
And my products are proudly made in Nigeria.
Made in Niger, showing every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. and repeats on Saturday at 8:30 a.m.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. From the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
All right, Firebrand, we said at the beginning of the show, and that you were going to have a ball with us today. You know, I'm sure you did. John?
I had several balls.
Several balls. I had millions of them. Man, these young people are on fire.
Good.
Your nuggets, please.
Yeah, my nuggets. And of course, should I remind you that the nuggets are for those of us who speak in public, and that is all of us. Okay? So the nugget for today is this. Quite interesting. As you move up the ladder, ask yourself, if I was a corporation, how much would I invest in myself? So as you move up, this is leadership now. As you move up, ask yourself, how much would you invest in yourself as a corporation? So it's very important. It's a roundabout way of telling us that we need to keep learning. And we need to always improve on our skills of public speaking, speaking in public. So what I'm telling you is that if you want to move up the ladder, take along with you those skills that you will need to deliver whatever it is to connect with your audience. So that's my nugget for today. As you move up the ladder, ask yourself, if I was a corporation, how much would I invest in myself?
Okay. And I am a corporation. You are one. She's all by
She's one too.
Everyone is. That young man that just left us.
A mighty
corporation. That you know you can do it all by yourself. When you start, then you begin to find how big and how far you can go. And you need more people to come on board.
So that's it for this week. Any repeats?
It's over.
Okay, so plus head on to YouTube, Plus TV Lifestyle on YouTube to catch our show. There will be the repeat today by 9:30 and 10:30, and then tomorrow Sunday 9:30.
All right, today we don't head in live. We'll return same time next week. Please be your brother's keepers. Do something awesome. Put a smile on the faces of as many people as you can this season. We love you. Bye for now.
I'm out.
For upcoming artists.
welcome to Timeless Conversation. My guest today is a very well-known Nigerian. He's an international figure. He has inspired quite a lot of young Nigerians today to speak out, to be non-conformist when things are going wrong. And at the same time, he's someone who cherishes his culture, his upbringing, the societal value, and the family place. My guest is none other than the man we all call Charlie Boy, but he has the birth name of Charles Oputa. Charles Chukwuemeka Oputa, popularly known as Charlie Boy, was born on the 19th of June 1950. He hails from Oguta in Imo State. Multi-talented Charlie is a singer, songwriter, television presenter, publisher and producer. One of Nigeria's most controversial entertainers, Charlie Boy is best known for his alternative lifestyle, political views and media productions, including the iconic Charlie Boy Show. He once served as president of the Performing Musicians Association of Nigeria, PMAN. In 2011, he was also a judge on the Nigerian Idol set. You're welcome.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah, what's the difference in you? There's something that
I don't know. I feel very regular and very normal.
Are we going to start to
In fact,
define
over
regular?
normal, they worry me, sir.
You want me to define regular?
I don't know. I don't see anything abnormal or different about
Okay, let's
me.
try this now.
Yeah.
Sometimes they list your birth age as 70. Another set of people will say 71.
Because I've decided not to say anything about my birthday. I
That's
don't know why
irregular.
that one is
That
an
is
issue.
That is irregular.
That is irregular.
Most people your age will talk proudly about their date of birth.
Eh.
Before we start this program now, you know what they talk now.
Waiting at the talk. Remind me.
I know we
You know, too many spirits they pass. So
no. Make one
sometimes.
spirit bow for another spirit. Yeah?
Okay.
Why don't you want to talk about your actual date of birth?
Because, you know, we get football age, we get passport age, we get spiritual age. You can assign any age to any of these different compartments or departments, you know. And because in the beginning, I don't give many dates, so I don't get confused. I know, I don't know really what it is.
But one real age that is there is what?
The real age, the last time I looked, it was 70. That was
last year.
Last year, 2020.
So 19th of June,
But
1950 led us to 70 in 2020.
That's what they said.
There you go again. That's what is coming up.
Unfortunately, my mom is late now, so we would have asked her. She would have been the only one who would have
To remind you.
specific. Yeah.
To remind you, because
To
I know she
remind
told you. For instance, I know that you were so close to your mom. Describe your relationship with her.
Oh, it was heavenly. You know, that was what kept me in Abuja for a long time, taking care of my parents. And I'll tell you that that is the proudest job I ever did in my life. And I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to take good care of them, shower them with love, you know, because I'm sure in the beginning they didn't even think that that was possible, that it was going to be me. Because I give those people, I give them a tough time. I show them pepper. I show them pepper now, you know, as a growing teenager, you know. But I think in a roundabout way, I hold my father responsible because he always taught us to speak up and speak out, you know.
So you got that from him?
Yeah. he will always say things. I remember some of his famous quotes, anywhere you see injustice, you fight it. If you don't fight it, it will come back and chop your head off. Things like that. We always had that in the household. We always had things like, do you know who you are? Do you really know who you are? I'm giving you this name, or don't go and spoil it. You have to preserve it. So after, do you know, every time, do you know who you are? Do you know? I say I know who I am. My name is Charles Chukwuemeka Oputa. I live at number 11 Borokiri, Ahofia Road, Port Harcourt. He said, no, you are an Oputa. I said, so? What does being an Oputa mean?
Well, can I pose his question back to you now? Do you really know who you are?
Yeah.
Or have you found out who you are?
It's because of knowing who I am that gives me the confidence in the things that I do, and in being comfortable in my own skin, because I know who I am, I know where I'm coming from, I know where I've been to, and I know exactly what I want.
Now, the journey to discover yourself, to know who you are, took you out of Nigeria in your teens. And your dad wanted you to be a lawyer.
Not necessarily.
So,
he wasn't fussy about. He wasn't. He would have loved everybody, because he sees anybody, they start talking law, or if you have some love for law and things like that, then he made a friend in my father. But no, we were just allowed to express ourselves, any which way we wanted, because that was the first freedom. To be vocal, to be curious, to ask questions. We were taught that.
Probe your environment.
Yeah, not to. We're not like the kids. Like when you have elders come over to the house, you tell your kids to go to the other room. Elders are there. No, we weren't brought up like that. We were brought up to stay with elderly people, and we were encouraged to be curious, to ask questions, even though we didn't know what the hell, the issue were about those days. Yeah, and then from early enough, that kind of made me very comfortable with people who are much older than me.
Yeah, I read somewhere that you studied communication.
Yes, I'm a mass comm major. I did mass comm, radio, TV. I used to run a public relation, outfit. We specialized in TV program, radio program, adverts, stuff like that, the documentaries. We did a lot for state governments, federal governments, back in the days.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Now, let's relate that to your life as a performer, as an artist. Was your education helpful in putting it on track?
Yeah, it taught me how to look at things from different perspective. It taught me about being open, being my authentic self. My father raised us very well, if I must say, because early enough, I always heard him say, man, know thyself. A person who has a full understanding of him or herself and knows exactly what he's been given grace to do will only find fulfillment in the things that he or she does.
That's deep.
Yes, and I think my parents set us up on that track. Yeah.
So, reading mass comm was very useful to you in your engagements as a performer.
Oh yeah.
As an activist.
Yeah, understanding.
As an activist.
Yeah, understanding the human psyche, understanding, arty people they like to exaggerate a lot, you know. And where you know your stunts, your hypes have become effective is when people start to see you in different lights.
Yes.
Because Charlie Boy means different things to different people. It's only from where you stand. If one stands on the side of ignorance, that's all you think that whatever this brand is doing is just something weird about him. There's nothing weird about it.
Talking about something weird, you know, when you hit the scenes in the 80s,
yeah,
everybody was saying, he's the son of a Supreme Court Justice.
So
how can he dress like that? And you're still dressing like that at 71. Well, almost
no,
71.
I've calmed down a bit.
Calm.
Yeah.
This one is coming.
This one, they come now. I remember when my head used to be red, yellow, green, and all of that.
And you don't get hair again.
Yeah, I don't get hair again.
So it's not coming. You're toning
when I used to
differently.
wear 2 different shoes on, each leg. My craze that time, computer no reach am.
You even use the word craze.
Yeah.
You have noticed that craze.
Although my mom was very understanding. My father, on the other hand, actually thought I was crazy. I say crazy because a lot of people out there too thought that the flamboyant image I built as Charlie Boy was crazy, weird, too loud, too flamboyant, not acceptable, perceived as not responsible, especially for the family image. You see, it's a different kind of craze because this craze, wait a minute, this craze is organized. It's well.
It's intentional.
It's intentional.
What was the intention about?
You know when you have a famous father.
Good.
It's like a big thing hanging over your head.
A huge umbrella.
No, not an umbrella. It becomes a burden. Like, I like to give you an example.
Yeah.
Like, what's his name? Femi Kuti.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah? Fela's son.
Yeah.
Fela was that big.
Huge.
So, can you imagine the struggle Femi at the time was? I hated to live under anybody's shadow. I didn't want that.
But that man gave you covering.
Say?
Your dad, his name gave you covering. He pushed you to go get education.
No. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, from that perspective, sure. He gave me all I required.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that.
And then you came back, you rebelled against all that you got. We need to say, I want you to say it.
Yes.
So why?
Yes.
Because you don't want that cover.
Why? Because you can't just call me up one morning and say, here, take a letter, go there, pack your bag, go and start work. No. I am going to take that from anybody. I never told anybody, I never had any discussion. Say, I'm going to go into paid employment 9 to 5. Yeah, we not discuss that. So when I got that letter one morning, that was in Owerri. I didn't say I know they go anywhere. That was when our fight really started. You say, why? Everybody, once they finish university, then find work. We don't find for you, you no one work. I said, I didn't have that discussion with you. Oh yeah, what do you want to do? Because I was tired of living under this shadow. Yeah. I wanted to break away. I wanted to do my own thing.
Not break away, break out.
Break out, yeah. I wanted to do my own thing. So when it came to a head, when they asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, I want to be an entertainer. Of course, now, everybody was disappointed. So that was when I decided I was going to cut the umbilical cord between me and my parents. At that time, we were in Owerri. So luckily for me, he was promoted as a Supreme Court judge. So he went to Lagos. Then me, we from America, come back. Now village I go enter. You don't see that kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
You wanted to
for 7 years.
He was hitting the reset button.
Yes. Now village, I go start to build the brand Charlie Boy. And for that, those were the darkest 7 years of my life.
Wow.
Because that was when I came to appreciate poverty.
Poverty?
Struggle, yes.
Why?
Why not? Because what grows in the village, really? Villages are where people go, elderly people, senior citizens go to relax and fade out. There's no prospect in the village,
but
even though I had a recording studio.
There's rejuvenation.
Rejuvenation?
Yes.
When you are young, you're not talking about rejuvenation. You're talking about your burning ambition.
Yeah, but if somebody give you contact, you say you don't want.
Why I go on to 9 to 5 now? I want to do my own thing now. Other people know they succeed when they do their own thing.
They do.
Must I
But that was all he knew.
Huh?
That was all he knew. He was offering
what
he knew.
No. Well, I don't blame him.
Okay.
You know, parents are usually, sometimes they're overbearing and they worry a lot about their children. I've learned from
That's very true.
my parents to worry less. Because look at how I turned out. I'm sure in my father's wildest dream when I was like 15, 20, he wouldn't have believed it. Because I always said, oh, you just want to throw your life away. But I knew exactly what I wanted. And I wasn't going to throw my life away. But I was going to do it my way.
So after 7 years, what happened?
After 7 years in the village, well, an angel I met in one of my rare trips to Lagos to, scout for a recording company, see who will, take my body of music. And, I met Tina Onwudiwe.
Onwudiwe, yes.
Yeah, the African Oyibo. Yes. She's late now.
Yes, she is.
And that woman did a number on me. She was the one that restored first my confidence, because 7 years in the village robbed me of my confidence. I started to have an inferiority complex. I was avoiding my friends who I thought were doing much better than I was, and I swore never, ever in those 7 years to go back to my father to say, help me out.
I was just going to ask that in those 7 years, what was your relationship like with your dad?
It was really messed up. We weren't talking. In fact, I can boldly say that I disowned my parents. It got to a point where, I couldn't really take care of my family. I was living with my present wife in the village at the time.
Yes.
So you can imagine, from America to the village, no running water, no light, nothing. So we're like stuck. But the beginning seemed all right. I just had some few gadgets and stuff. I did one emergency studio where guys would come patronize me. But after the first year or so,